Hey, what's poppin', YouTubers? What's going on? Yeah, it's me. It's me. It's Mike P. What's going on, y'all? Anyhow, yeah, I was working out a little bit, so I'm a little swollen. But yeah, so excuse me. So I have two videos uploading now. I don't even know why that I took so long to do them. I'm not gonna sit here and even lie to you guys. Yesterday, it's because it's excuse me, it's Sunday now. So basically, this past week, I don't remember. I think Monday I did go thrifting, and I didn't get much. I did get a toner. Was it a Narnia or something like that? I forgot that movie. But it was a toner figure, and they had it for 40. I probably should have left it until Wednesday, but every once in a while you do get people that be like, hey, what's that? They'll get, you know what I'm saying, they will be like very nosy, and then they'll look it up. I mean, I know boxes and I know figures, so and I know toys. I don't know everything, but I do know of and about toner. And I remember back in like 2007, 8, 9, toner became real popular. It was more like a porcelain style or porcelain figure, almost similar to Hot Toys. I mean, they actually cost more than Hot Toys back then. I guess toner stopped making them, or they became unpopular. I don't know. Excuse me. And I think that day I spent like $60. Everything came up to everything was exactly $59 and change. Everything was that. But I can't remember. I know it was that and whatever else it was. It was some other stuff, but I probably put it away or forgot about it or whatever. But I should be able to get my money back just on that piece if I can move it. But I'll do that at a show or something like that because they, people still like that stuff and collect them. And then Tuesday, I was gonna stay home, be lazy, but then I met up with Erick, the young brother who I actually did deals with him and his brother. They both GI Joe guys. His brother's more into 1/6 scale stuff, and he's more into like get into the O-ring Joe stuff. And anytime I live vicariously through people who collect stuff that I truly have a passion for, and if I can help an individual kind of like get there or reach their not even reach their goal, but help them get there, why not? And he reached out to me, I think on Sunday or Monday. I think it was, I don't remember, but he did reach out to me, excuse me, and I'm glad he did that because I totally forgot to network. I keep forgetting when I go to these shows to give people my numbers and network, and definitely should have did that with that guy because I basically brought him out. Not really. I mean, he did have a lot of shit there, and a lot of other stuff he had that was more important to him. He wanted some money for that stuff, and it was decent Transformers and other shit. And I'm talking about like boxed stuff. He did have some loose stuff, like he had the two protector bots. He wanted $40 each, and I was stupid for not picking them up because I've seen them at the Parsippany PAL when I helped, when I basically volunteered to do security with them. Joe and Anthony are good people down at the Wayne the Wayne PAL toy shows. Really really cool guys, and yeah, so I did see them there, and I did see people selling them for like easily $100, and I really did. I don't like taking advantage of people, but the thing is, $40 for something he want is a lot different than a man. You ask a man, hey, how much are Marvel Legends? He didn't say, oh, they're $5 and up. There's certain keywords people use, and if you're smart enough to understand and apprehend that, instead of being too busy, when a person's like, oh, they're all $5 except the builder figures. The builder figures are like, I think he said 10 or 15. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, all right, well, I didn't see nobody there, so I went like that. And I was like, okay. So count them up. Let me know what you want for them. That's the first thing I did. Then I was looking and I was like, oh shit, he got gold. He got, well, those are original Ghostbusters. And I like, and so I'm like, let me ask. So I'm like, well, what are you asking for the Ghostbusters? And he's like, oh, they're all $5 each. And I'm like, I'm looking at everybody like, are these people out there fucking? I said, I said, hold on, $5 each? He said, yeah, they're all $5. I was like, and he said, oh, except for the vehicles. Vehicles are 20. In my mind, I'm like, man, at this time, I'm like, fuck the vehicles, man. I want the figures. And as I was like, okay, well, tally up. Let me know how much these are as well when you finish with that. So he got it mixed up. So this other little short, this disrespectful Mexican guy got a hold of the blade and like 2 other figures. I know one was, it could have been 2 other female figures or another. I know it was Blade, a female, and another figure. I can't remember, but I should have kept the blade in my hand, but I just automatically assumed that he was going to count everything up and tell somebody, oh no, I'm sorry, but he may be doing a deal or whatever. And I was upset, and I started to be the Mike Son 007 guy, and kind of give him the business. But sometimes you have to, you have to sit back and maintain. But I was upset, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, I was like, here, let him have it. And I said like that because the way he was looking back, like he wanted something. And first of all, you don't try to pop off or look like you tough because you got your man next to you. You're gonna be the first one to get it because all I gotta do is, and I got some big ass forearms and elbows. So if I catch your ass and you trying to turn around, you done. You on the floor leaking. You're done. You're not doing nothing but late. But you night. Me and your boy are gonna be handling our business while you night. And all that over a toy or being disrespectful and stupid. But you know what? I don't like to argue with people. Oh, I will argue and fight somebody over disrespect, but I'm not gonna argue and fight you over something I gotta pay for. I'm too old, too mature for that shit. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it was the job of the guy selling this stuff to rectify that situation, which he did try to do. But I figured there was gonna be a verbal, because the guy already pissed me off. And I was like, you know what? Nah, let him have it. I said just like that. Let him have it. You know what I mean? So his boy looked at me, and I looked at his boy like this, and then he just like turned away and just stood there like this. But Mr. Badass was looking back like yo, he's about to fucking get his ass whooped. But anyhow, so he did get confused because for some reason he didn't think I wanted them, and but I told him I want them, count them up, and let me know what you want for everything. So at that time, he was really concentrating on the Ghostbuster stuff. So once he started counting everything, that's when another guy came back in the room, I guess, after the 3rd time. And he's like, well, okay, so what do you want for what are you asking on the Ghostbusters again? And he's like, oh, and he just laughed and said, well, dude, you got to wait now because I'm already counting them up for this guy. And he's like, oh, okay, well, is he going to take them all? And I said, yeah, I'm taking them all. Didn't he just tell you that? Because this other guy already pissed me off, and this guy just told him. And the people do that. I mean, I sell at these toy shows. I go to toy shows. If I want something and I know I can make money on it, I'm taking it. I'm not sitting there trying to play the long game. People do that shit at my garage sales. People do that shit at the flea market. And they love to turn around and, I should have brought it. And I'm like, yo, if you really wanted it, you would have brought it. And then people look at me and say, oh, I'm aggressive or I'm nasty or I'm mean. Why? Because I'm spitting the truth. I'm not going to kiss your ass. It's not that I'm disgusting or mean or rude. I'm just calling this shit for what it is. You don't like it. Don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean? I don't like, just like when people say, oh, I'll be back. I'll be like, all right. And they be like, nah, I'm coming back. I said, yeah. What? I said, dude, you don't owe me nothing. Sometimes if they do that a couple times and I'm like, well, most of the time I try my best not to even say nothing. You know what I mean? Because they always say silence is the best killer, right? Because sometimes if you stand there and look at somebody and they argue with you, it makes them even more agitated if you don't even entertain them. But I'm just like so outspoken. It's not even about me feeling like I got to defend myself. I just like when somebody pisses me off, I either like getting physical or I like getting verbal and let you know about yourself. No, I'm not a passive person, and I think sometimes if I don't speak or say something, I feel like I'm being passive. I definitely know I'm not passive aggressive. I'm just straight aggressive. I'm not confrontational, but I don't deal with bullshit. But anyhow, getting back to all this jibber jabber. So I got 2 of these videos coming up right now. The first video, I'm doing it through my phone because I recorded through the phone, and that would be, I was gonna put up the part 2 video first So technically I was gonna have 3 videos uploading, but the other video of the second unit that I brought, I did record it, but it just wasn't worth. I think I got like 13 minutes of it, but it's nothing intriguing. I mean, the first unit, they both are garbage. I gotta face it. Self-compass storage. I know the girls there. They cool with me. I even rented for like, I think that month, just to have a unit there, because I got stuck because they told me, well, they don't give refunds, so I was stuck with the unit. So me and Hector did go half on, I think 2 or 3 units there, and it was mainly garbage, but we did make some money on it. And I know when I first moved here, I think I brought 1 or 2 units. I think one was maybe live, or I think both of them were online. I can't remember, but either way you look at it, it wasn't that great. So I know for a fact that, but every once in a while you do get a gym there. You do get a gym, but most of the units there are garbage. Most of their units. And I had nothing to do on Wednesday, so I brought 2 units, and I'm like, you know what? I'm literally 10 minutes. I'm a 10-minute walk, 8 to 10 minute walk, and less than a minute and a half drive, depending if I get caught by that light down the block from my house. Because all I gotta do is go, 2 blocks down, because like where I live at, and make that left turn, and there's no other light. Make that left turn. Damn, actually, it takes me a minute or less to get there by car. Now that I think about it, especially if I catch that green light. But at the corner, make that left turn, go down 4 or 5 blocks, then make that right, and then like go down that block, and boom, I'm there. So it was just financially secure for me to say, okay, I'm gonna pay this much for this one, because they both look like they have potential. One had makeup and some furniture, some perfume type stuff, a couple of like linen things, some clothes, and DVDs. I gotta go through that, and costume jewelry. Unfortunately, nothing in it was real silver or real jewelry. But even though it's costume, it's gotta be at least $100 to $150 worth of costume. If I do like $5-10 for items, people do buy them. Maybe. Then the second unit was a bigger unit, and that unit I paid just about. I paid what? Just about. I paid 3 times more, or just about, because that one cost me $170. This unit cost me $50. So in reality, $50, and then the fees and everything and the taxes, you're looking at maybe $75 all in. So the one for $170, that one was probably around maybe $220, $230. So you figure either way you look at it, I'm $300 in the hole for both of those units. So my mentality on how I do things is I kind of compress the price to 1 unit. So it's like, instead of me buying 2 units for so I look at it like, okay, you figure a 5x4 locker and a 5x8 room. I look at that more as a 5x10, because it, a 4x4 locker is more. I can't explain it, but I look at it more like it. Hey, I paid $300 for a 5x10, maybe even a 5x11 if you really want to look at the specs. But that 5, the 5x4 was kind of packed, but it just had like bins and some shopper carts and stuff. So that unit was definitely worth it, and I could take some of what I got from that unit and apply it to what I paid for the 170, because a lot of stuff was in that one, the one for 170. That 5x10 had a lot of pictures in it, awards, diplomas, passports, a lot of ish was in there, and they were nice enough to keep it there, because the lady said they had a lot of pictures and stuff, and normally I keep. And I always give that stuff to the office, because 1, that's stuff I don't have to take, and then 2, that's personal items and if people have old photos and stuff, if they don't have the negatives and stuff to it, you're not going to be able to. It's not like you can go to your phone or your Google or Apple and download or get those photos back. You know what I'm saying? So I'm real quick to give all that stuff back. That unit did have a lot of dirty clothes that was like kind of sweaty and smelly, but real good. But I didn't like, I just got rid of that stuff. I kept the better of the linens and towels. They did have like a bin of like some China crap, a bin of like cups and stuff like that. So I'll put that stuff out at my next garage sale. And as I'm putting it out, I'll just start throwing away and going through stuff. Maybe sometime Wednesday or something, I might just go through the unit. Go through my garage and just start nitpicking that stuff. And then whatever is garbage, I might just put out for garbage for bulk day. Because bulk day is every Thursday, and then Monday is just regular garbage. So I'll probably do that and just gear up for just that way. That's less stuff I have to put out. All of the clothing and stuff I know is good because I already went through everything and got rid of the stuff that I don't want to deal with, and the stuff that I figured I could put out for sale. I definitely have way more than $300 worth of stuff to put out to get my money back, and that's just in either one of those two units. But it's all about who stops. It's all about who stops by. Cause like this Saturday coming up and the Saturday after this Saturday, there's no Meadowlands. So that stuff I wouldn't feel comfortable taking there anyway. And I definitely wouldn't feel comfortable taking that stuff down to Columbus. But I did a deal today. Well, not today, because today's Sunday already. It's like 4:28 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But after the flea market Saturday, I was going to just come pick Isaiah up. Yes, it's going to sound disgusting. I told him to take a shower and everything. My plan was to come pick him up and just go straight to, and I had to come back home anyway to pick up the stuff that I put aside for Erick. G.I. Joe weapons and a figure he needed, as well as some other stuff. And the stuff I picked up, yesterday that the video loading up now before this one. And I got that G.I. Joe Savage Jeep because he said he's going to collect that stuff as well. So if I do come across that stuff, I'll just pick that stuff up, because I know a lady in Columbus, if she has stuff like that, I'll just pick whatever she has up for him, whether he has more stuff for trade or not. He's a good dude, and if I can help him and or his brother, I will, because it's not only, networking. It's always good to network and be able to trade or barter, whatever you want to call it. And sometimes somebody may be like, hey, he might be someone, but like, yo, Mike, you need this or you need that, and I'm like, yo, yeah, I mean, come on, look at this, like, Vinny talked me into going, and one of the white brothers I know from the Meadowlands, as well as from other toy conventions too, hooked me up with this bad boy. I mean, I was trying to find this. It doesn't have the zip line, and it only has this thing here. I don't know if it's supposed to come with two, but I don't care. He hooked me up with this. It's missing a couple of missiles, but I'm going to look up and see which missiles it needs, if these are the right missiles for it, and if it is, I'll just order two of them, or I'll probably, I'm supposed to meet up with Eddie anyway, so I'll probably go through some of his weapon stuff and see if he has any missiles I need for this. So you know what? It wasn't for Vinny talking me into going thrifting Friday outside of the argument I had with this little moron named Ross. I'm done with him. Just like this other guy I used to be okay with. And it's like, I'm the kind of person that, if I have years of knowing you and years of knowledge, it's normal for you to get into an argument with somebody. But over something stupid, and if you really don't have that kind of rapport with that person from the jump, and you don't have years of a rapport with them, once there's a disrespect, there's no reason for us to be cool or talk. You just stay in your lane, I'll stay in mine. That's it. We could be respectful strangers to where we don't even acknowledge each other, and I'm in content with that. One thing my family can tell you is I could turn myself off like a fucking light switch. I can totally remove myself from anything. I mean, I'm a very sensitive person, but I can do that. But anyway, he gave me this, and he actually kept the figure in there. I don't even know if this figure goes in here, but okay, whatever. I don't think this is to that. Well, he's got a gun in his hand, and I gotta figure out who this guy is. I don't think he goes to that though, but yeah, he gave me this, and he didn't have to. And he also told me, Joe, that's, but I totally, I know two old man Joes there. I'm thinking, and when I think of Joe, I think I kind of figured he was talking about him, but when he's like, oh, he got a son named so and so, and I'm like, well, I don't remember that. So I'm thinking of another Joe I know from New York. I know him for years. I know him from doing live auctions, even before I was going to auctions. So I know him from Green Acres and Belmore Flea Market. So I knew this guy for a long time. So I'm thinking of that Joe. But then I was like, wait a minute, and I'm looking around, and I can only imagine what other G.I. Joe vehicles and stuff I missed out on. But Joe did tell me he didn't have no figures, but he did say, yeah, I had a couple of other vehicles, but they sold, and this is what he had left. So I got that stuff, and yeah. So I haven't really decided yet if I'm going to keep the other Blockbuster, because I already have one, and this one is complete as well. So I'm contemplating, if I don't need it, then I'll give it to, I'll wind up doing something with it with Erick. If not, it is what it is. So outside of that, so I met up with Erick yesterday, and we actually witnessed a car accident too on Route 22. Everybody always talking about how dangerous Route 22 is. I'm from New York, so to me it's not really dangerous, but there are always a lot of accidents, and we witnessed one out of stupidity. But we did a deal. He had a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff's really not. I mean, we did a deal. We did a deal, and he didn't have to take my stuff, and I didn't have to take his stuff. I'm not gonna say he hooked me up. I'm not gonna say I hooked him up. It's a mutual thing. He wanted to get rid of crap that he needed gone, and sometimes it's better to get rid of stuff to somebody that can move it than for you to try to sit on it and move it later on. I do understand that, because you want to move stuff, you want to get rid of stuff. So I get it, and the fact that he actually chose me to be like, hey, yo, we met at XYZ, blah 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 boo boo. And he's about business. I'm about business. I'm about making money and moves and collecting, and he's about the same. So we came to a mutual agreement. I got a lot of great stuff. Well, not great, but when I say great, I mean, let's put it this way. I got more quantity than I got quality, but I'm okay with that, because sometimes when you're doing deals, it's better to get stuff that you don't want to collect, because then it doesn't, it really doesn't mess with your bottom line. I mean, is there like, again, the money is there because of quantity. The money's not there because of quality. He got quality, I got quantity, and I'm cool with that, because again, I'm helping a fellow collector out, and at the same time, he's helping me out by giving me stuff that I can try to make money on. And he gave me stuff for such a great deal, and I owe my boy Eddie some money, but we could never meet up because his work schedule is crazy now, and every time we do meet up, we just keep somehow missing each other, because he get caught doing this, I get caught doing that. So I was gonna meet up with him last night, but it was raining. It was like midday, like around 6-7, so it was still light outside. But I don't like driving, especially when I'm extremely tired and I don't want to go nowhere, because that's when mistakes happen. So, and he goes to church on Sundays, so we're gonna meet up Monday mid morning or whatever, before he has to get himself ready to work and everything. So, and I owe him from when I was at the Parsippany Wayne toy show. Where I had the issues with with Mythic Legions, but I'm happy. I don't need to collect that garbage. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people are like, oh well, I'm like, yo, listen, man. That's not me. You could love whatever company you want. That's on you. If I feel personally disrespected by anybody, like right now, if I talk to somebody who worked for Hasbro, I wouldn't collect any of the new Hasbro, but that doesn't have anything to do with the old Hasbro, because they no longer produce the old Hasbro. So unless there's the company, even if it's somebody from the old one, they'd be like, oh, I never, if they did the Tommy Hilfiger or Timberland thing where they said some shit like, oh, well, I never made my action figures for little minorities and niggas in the hood to on the projects we run around collecting the stuff, saying, yo, Joe, I probably wouldn't even give a fuck, because it wasn't directly directed toward me, so I wouldn't take it personally. And even that person's like, oh well, I don't like niggers collecting this stuff. Would I probably get rid of him? Probably not. You know, because again, that's past tense. I already have this stuff. But in a way, that might sound contradictory to y'all, but hear me out. It's not bigotry or two-facedness or hypocritical. What I mean by that is the fact that I already grew up on this stuff and I already have it. So I have a lot invested in it, but at the same time, again, I wasn't personally disrespected by that individual. Now, if I was called out by that person, would I probably get rid of it? To be honest, I would. I would probably more 65% think about getting rid of it. If that person came out and attacked me personally or whatever, yeah. But with the Mythic Legions, one thing I know, like, they do the same thing Sideshow does. Like, Sideshow used to love the people, the shops that supported them and everything, and then they got too big for their bridges, like any cocky Caucasian ran company who gets a lot of money and they get too big for their bridges, and then they become very arrogant and self-centered. And Sideshow done it, they do it, and I think Mythic Legions is like that. And like I said, if the owner of I don't want nobody to kiss my ass because I'm not gonna kiss theirs, but the owner of here came up to me and be like, hey, why XYZ, and I think he did ask me and I did say something. But he just like left it alone. And the fact that he was like, oh, okay, well, whatever. Me being a concerned, company, and they took a lot of shit. They took a lot of shit back. And they were actually talking about, dang, we still got way too much stuff left over. And they had a decent show, a good show. I don't know how great or good compared to other shows, but I can definitely tell you that the lines weren't that crazy. They had people coming from Boston and other places to get stuff, but it wasn't like the Wayne show where they had people where they had lines going on for 5-6 hours. That was nowhere near that. And I'm not just saying that because I'm mad. No, I'm saying it because it is what it is. But regardless on what, I would have, especially the fact that he was like, wow, okay, and he kept saying, oh wow, man, you buying more, you keep taking more stuff to the car. And I'm like, yeah. So, my first thing would be like, wait a minute, but I know you from the Wayne show, and you always, I always spent $800 minimum. First time I was with them, I mean, I asked them what to buy, stuff like that, and I spent $800. Then I came back an hour and a half later, because I couldn't find no other toys I wanted, and I spent another $700. So that's $1,500 I gave you. And then, like, the other two times I met up with them, we already got a report, and each time I spent over $1,000. So you probably got close to $4,000 out of me already on just what, 40 something figures or some shit like that. So you know what I'm saying? Because that shit adds up. Or actually, it was more than that, but whatever. Not 4,000, but I think what, 2,500 or almost 3,000, about 3,000, something like that. Well, it was over $3,000, not exactly 4 yet, but anyhow. And I'd have been like, and I'm like, okay, well, why are you not buying? And then when I explained it to him, the fact that he just like brushed it off, like, okay, even if you just said, well, who you had, it's common sense. Like, first thing you're gonna say is who you had this issue with, because you want to rectify that, especially considering the fact that on that Saturday, me and him spoke, and I was like, well, can I do it? And he said, oh, well, as soon as stuff on the table, you see something you want, just let me know. But I could have easily just said, oh, well, I'm not going to go, I ain't going to do that. Oh, well, he said that, nah, man. The way that kid came out, man, fuck him. And the fact that this guy just brushed it off, fuck him too. So I feel like, fuck Mythic Legions. I mean, their stuff is decent, but it's not like, I like it, but, I mean, I like the stuff, but it's, I think people go too ooh-ah over it. I mean, it's nice looking shit, but it's not impressive. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But whatever, to each his own. And, I don't deal with disrespect by anybody. I don't give a fuck how big your company is or how much stuff. I don't care. Give you, you know what I'm saying? Give me respect, I'm going to give you respect. That's the reason, for the same reason why last Saturday, I didn't take a picture or pay to deal with that guy from Impractical Jokers, James Murray. Because he was just standing there on the corner texting. He had nobody in the line. He had this one dude just standing there. He had two other people standing by, I guess, the little table and shit they had to do whatever they were doing, like their promotions or whatever. and I was right there. So I just leaned over a little bit, and I walked over and leaned over, and I'm saying, "Hey, what's up?" And I just say, "Hey, I just want to say what's up to you, bro." And the little skinny guy come out, "Hey, whoa. What do you need?" I said, "Excuse me?" He's like, "What do you need?" I said, "I'm just saying hi. It's a free country, right?" And he's like, "Oh, well, if you want to talk to him or whatever you need, you can just go through me." I'm looking at him like, and then I look over at James, at Murr, and he's just like leaning like with his legs crossed like on the thing and texting and looking over at me like he's the fucking president or he's somebody's really important. Dude, your show's okay, but my man, like, you're not fucking Ben Affleck or fucking Wesley Snipes or Stallone. You're a guy who, you guys embarrass each other and get laughs out of strangers on a fucking TV show. Like, it's not that serious, bro. Like, if you can get somebody like Lou Ferrigno that I can actually request a hug. Yeah, I did pay for this stuff, but there was, I still walked by and waved and said hi to him, and even other people that I didn't even get nothing signed. They was like, "Hey, how you doing, bud?" And they was reaching their hand out to shake your hand and everything. You just lean that fuck. That's how I feel, man. I'm like, one thing is, I like stars, and if it's certain people and TV shows and shit, not only that I grew up on, but I like, and I'm like, I like to meet that person one day, and I like their character, it's fine. But there's a difference between that and somebody being starstruck. I'm not a starstruck person because I'm from New York. So you do know how many people I met in Manhattan and Brooklyn, not Queens. I don't think I met anybody in Queens or Bronx that was a star, but I've always met a lot of people always around Manhattan for some reason. I think maybe a few in Brooklyn. Yeah, that Brooklyn, yeah, definitely downtown Brooklyn and shit. I met people, but mostly in Manhattan, and you know what I mean. But a lot of people say, "Oh, that's why I'm not starstruck." It's not about being starstruck. Starstruck is like, you know what I mean. But if you go somewhere and it's a controlled environment where you're meeting these people and whatever, and you're like, hey, you want to get something autographed by them, you want to get the chance to, even say like something for 2 minutes, and then somebody that you like, it's like your toys. Like, we all got this shit because some of us either can or we could or couldn't afford the stuff as children, or sometimes you lost it in a fire, or it's just something that your parents got rid of, or you didn't know better, and now you just want to kind of like relive your childhood a little bit and have something nostalgic for whatever reasons. There's a lot of toy lines here I never liked. I never liked back in the day, but because it was kind of nostalgic to somebody in my family or something, is why I'm into it now. You understand? So it's a lot of that, and it's the same thing for meeting somebody that you liked on Smallville, or come on, like in the 70s, who didn't grow up liking the Incredible Hulk? Lou Ferrigno, dude, come on, man. Like, Ernie Reyes Jr., this is a kid I watched when he did, come on, I've been watching this kid for years. For years I've been watching this dude. He was a Rush Hour 2, The Rundown, with the guy who played Stifler from American Pie and The Rock. He was the Amazon prince in the jungle that was beating the shit out of The Rock. He doing all that fast movement. His father helped and created creative martial arts. Surf Ninjas, Red Sonja, The Last Dragon. Come on, man. Like, how can I not want to meet this dude? And of course, I forgot which turtle he played in the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie, but then in part 2, I think he probably did do some of the stunts and some of the movements for one of the turtles as well when he was off. I don't quote me, but I believe, maybe so. I'm not gonna say I believe so, but I'll say maybe so. He was still a turtle fighting in some scenes and stuff for whatever turtle he was in, maybe part 1 or whatever. They used him when he wasn't playing his character Kino on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. You know what I mean? And come on. Who didn't think April was kind of cute? You know what I mean? I got a thing for white women with red hair. I find them attractive, very attractive. Any woman, any real woman that was born a woman, but definitely pale skin white women with red hair, just that shit just drives me crazy. But anyhow, so meeting her too, that was dope. Who'd ever thought I'd meet her? she wasn't a big star, but I was like, she's cute. You know what I'm saying? I met her, and come on, Mandalorian, this is the way. Come on, man. How can you not like Emily Swallow? She's like, you got some women that have a natural beauty, they're not like drop dead gorgeous, but they're still beautiful and pretty in a lot of ways. Like for instance, Katie Siegel, I think her name is it Seagal? It's not Seagal, it's Siegel, I think, right? She was when I played Peggy Bundy. She has a natural beauty to her. You know, even if you take the cheap clothing and the makeup and the hairstyle they gave her on Married with Children, Katie Seagal is a beautiful woman. I mean, she's got a nice. She's just pretty in a lot of ways. She's stacked right. She's just pretty. You know what I mean? I mean, Gwyneth Paltrow. She has a natural beauty to her. Better yet, I got a better one. Sandra Bullock. Sandra Bullock got a beautiful body, pretty face. I mean, you know, some women just have a natural beauty. They're not like, holy shit, drop dead gorgeous, but they have sex appeal and cuteness to them. And that's how it is with Emily Swallow. And even the one that played what's the female Mandalorian? Oh my god, I can't think of her name. The one that took her helmet off. But you know, whatever. I ain't gonna dwell on this for that long. But yeah, you know, moving back on to this thing with me and Erick. So we met up and we did a deal yesterday, and I'm not gonna say, you know, we did a trade. He was happy, I was happy. That's what's important. You know, he got his quality, I got my quantity. I didn't get nothing to collect for myself. That wasn't the point. The point is he wanted to get rid of stuff that he found was intrusive to him, that maybe it was hard for him to move it, or he just didn't want to go through moving it. And he was like, you know what, I'm gonna help this brother out, because he did. He helped me out and I helped him out. You know, it was, either way you look at it, it was a fair trade. You know what I'm saying? Because I was happy with the stuff I have. I mean, there was some other stuff. I'm not gonna say that I did him a favor by taking it. That sounds disrespectful, and it's not true. He helped me. I think he helped me more by giving me the stuff and working the deal out with me than I did him. Because whether he got stuff for his collection and whether he got stuff that was stuff he want, everything he got was for him to collect, and it was all quality. But at the same time, everything he came with, he gave me. He actually gave me shit. And yet, damn, I didn't realize just how shit. Look how, damn, yo, look at that. What the hell? Look at my skin, yo. I really just start, you know, walk around. Wow, look at this. This shit look like, that don't even look right, yo. I just noticed that right there. Look at my head. Look at my hands and my forearms, and look at my biceps. Yeah, I look like two different people, like like Sammy Sosa and shit. Like, but anyway, so going back to this, so I am gonna be doing a video a little later, and the reason I'm saying all this now is because I just want to, you know, just talk and explain that stuff, and it's a lot of stuff. So I'm just letting you guys know now, you know, you know what I'm saying, be warned that, you know, the next video is gonna just be of me just. This way I don't have to explain in that video. I could just, you know, go right into it. So now you know that, hey, I did a deal with Erick and this is the stuff I got. So he did hook me up with a lot of stuff. And again, I would say mostly all of it is quantity. And I know I keep saying that. But again, it's stuff that I should be able to move. You know, he hooked me up with a lot of Hot Wheels. He hooked me up with some green light stuff. I don't know much about Spin Masters, let alone even a Hot Wheels. Normally, when I'm thrifting, I leave the 4x4 trucks, because they always come out with those in bags, and they're always real cheap compared to like the regular actual loose cars that they put in a bin for like $20 plus. But I don't know much about them, so I asked him how much they cost. He's like, oh, they're around $4 or $5 in the store. So I'm like, you know what? If I can do like maybe 2 for $4, $2.50, 2 for $4, people will probably buy them. Maybe there's like 16 of them, I think. And I'm like, that's pretty fair. I'm like, okay. So he gave me those for, I'm not gonna say what, but he hooked me up with that stuff. And then I got like, I think 2 boxes, maybe more, or almost 200 Hot Wheels, all sealed. He gave me those for a steal. I got some, was it the McFarlane DT Multiverse figures. I didn't really look at them or really know what they are, but I'm pretty sure they whatever. I got that stuff. I also got some of the Mattel multiverse stuff. So I'll keep the ones I like that I know I could probably take to a show and get maybe 15 or so for. The other ones I'll just move them. There was also same thing with some Marvel Legends stuff. There was some other little mediocre action figures. Most of the other action figures he did bring me outside of I think 8 or 9 that were loose. They were the McFarlane like Spawn lines, but I believe they're all complete. So I could do something with those. And a lot of everything else he had was sealed. And again, I was happy. I was happy with the deal. I was very, very happy because again, I got a lot of quantity, and I need quantity to be able to sell stuff. But I did meet up with Vinny, and I went and I set up, and I was on the phone with him for like almost an hour, 40 minutes. And that whole time, I could have been taking a shower and halfway there. If I did, I probably would have got a lot of video games because I think I missed out on video games and some action figures and stuff as well. Because Vinny was telling me that he missed out on stuff too because he had to set up and it was just him and his girlfriend. So, I told, I ain't gonna go into that business on my hookups. My hookups with the Meadowlands. That's irrelevant. But he got a spot. He definitely got a better spot than he would have got. He let me set up with him again. He charged me a couple of bucks to set up, which was fine. And a lot of the regular figures, Marvel and DC, that I did get from Erick, including some figures that I had also. And I think a lot of them some of them I either got over time, but I think some of them I did get from the toy show Sunday too. I wound up selling a big bin, a nice sized bin of that stuff to a guy I know, and I only made 2 sales. It was hot as hell, and I made 2 sales. 2. One was with Victor. He brought that stuff, and I gave him a great price on it. He was happy with it. It was a lot of figures, probably 30, 40 figures, and he got a great price on it. So great that he took it without even really hesitating. And then these CGBC or something figures. There's like 2 of them. A guy know it. You could tell he's into rock and roll and shit. I basically, I got them out of a storage unit. I got those out of a storage unit a long time ago, so I've been made profit off of that. And I don't know how many times I put them out in my garage sale. I don't even know how many times I brought them out to the flea market. Nobody hardly even looked at them. I put them on Vinny table. It was a couple of watchers. This kid was like da-da-da. And I was like, yo, listen, I'll tell you what, man. Just give me XYZ for the 2 of them. And he tried to go $10 less. And I was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. But, he was like, all right, I'll give you the so-and-so. And that was the only 2 things I sold, So I made, made money on just that stuff. I had the big Toys R Us interactive Darth Vader in the box and R2-D2. People was asking me prices, but nobody bid on both of those, and I was shocked. So that's the second time I brought those out to the market, because 2 weeks ago I was at the market and I made great money on 2 bikes and a lot of other shit, and I can't believe those came back home. And then I had like all the video game stuff I had. People wanted to buy individual items, and when it comes to video game stuff, I like to sell in bulk. If I'm not gonna sell in bulk, I'll individually wrap them, do bundles, and take them to toy shows and sell them later on. Probably get even more money. But I just brought them out. I was like, you know what? I'll set up with Vinny and try to make something. But because he talked me into it, like I said, Friday, because of Vinny, I was able to get a Game Boy Advance SP in the bag. It was like a rose. I think it's called Rose Pink. 3 girly games, like really garbage games, but it did have the adapter, and it does come on. It does work, and I basically paid like $16 for it with the bag, because one of the cashier, this Neanderthal, he screwed up, and I was trying to explain to him, but whatever. I just brought it, and yeah, so that, And then again, yesterday, thanks to Vinny, I was able to get, a couple of things for Eric, a couple more things for him, and I wound up getting that helicopter that I needed for my personal collection, and then on top of that, getting it for free. So again, to Vinny, thank you, and again to Eric, I appreciate you choosing me, brother, for networking, and you taught me a valuable lesson to not forget to network, because that would have been a perfect guy to network with. And the sad thing, I think if I see him in the next toy show or something, I might remember him. But if more than a month or two go by, especially 2 months, I might not remember him. I don't remember if he took my number or vice versa. But the thing is, like, sometimes I get so overwhelmed with the deals, I totally forget to network with people. And every fucking toy show I go to, I keep forgetting to do that. Because 90% of the time, every toy show I go to, I do buy out some stuff from people. And sometimes you want to network with them, because if you buy from them and they see, oh, this guy will buy, they'll always look for you. They'll always look for you and be like, oh, they might have stuff. Hey, listen, I got this and that. You want that'd be because what they do is a lot of people they'll sell you something and then turn around and take that money they get from you to go buy something else. You know what I mean? So that way they don't have a lot of money coming out of their pocket. Hey, if I can move this real quick, I could use that money to buy something else. And that's what they do, because that's what I do. And that's the perfect thing for networking. People, a lot of people don't want to take stuff, and a lot of times when people do toy shows, sometimes they do a couple a year, once a year, or they may have just started and they get fed up. They want to make the money back from the table. They spent money on other shit. They just want to get rid of this stuff. Sometimes, I'm gonna do a toy show, and if people don't buy it or whatever, I just need it gone, because they just want it gone and they want to move on to the next thing. You know what I mean? So I'm all for that, because the thing is, the same way they network, you network. Sometimes you can network and have a better, vast way of getting rid of shit than they do, and vice versa. But, being that I do garage sales, flea markets, and on top of that, toy shows, and I have people I can move stuff with, it's becoming more of a better door for me, because, I can give this stuff to my boy Eddie, and Eddie can move his stuff because, 1, he knows people, 2, he does shows as well, 3, he does eBay, whatnot, and he sells a lot of stuff because, he does his thing too. And like a lot of people, just like him, if he can get stuff cheap, he'll, a lot of people like that. A lot of people say, yo, if I can sell it, I'll buy it. But, but if it's stuff I really don't need or want, the price has got to be right, but I'll take anything. I mean, a lot of people are like that. That wasn't the case with me and Eric. Because I really don't take anything, but in a way, it's kind of a contradiction too, only due to the fact that it was stuff he had I really didn't want. But I figured if I can put it in a box and put like $3 each on it, somebody will go in the box and say, hey, would you take 2? I might even do $4 each on something, just because they're gonna say, hey, would you take 3 or 2? So you don't never want to say, hey, $1 or $2, because if you say $1, they're gonna say, would you take 50 cents? If you say $2, they're gonna say, would you take $1? Some might say, hey, would you take 50 cents because you asking this for it? You know what I mean? So you gotta, it's like, if you're selling something at a garage sale and or at a toy show and or especially at the flea market, and if you want $10 for it, don't say, hey, I only want 10 for it. You can't even say, oh, I only want 10. They're gonna be like, oh, well, would you take 8 or 7 or 5? And then a lot of times they'll put it down and figure, fuck it. They'll put it down to call you a bluff. And if you don't bluff, they'll be like, fuck it. They'll walk away and then figure they'll come back later and try to walk by and glance and see if you still have it and still try to work a deal out with you. And, maybe somebody else will buy it from you for that price. So either way, they don't care. But they want it. But that's just how funny and selfish people are. You know what I mean? So sometimes, if you like, hey, I got to get $10 for this. You can't put $10 each on it. You got to put 15 or 18 or even 20. It's just to try to make that mark, because if you truly want, that's how it is in this business. Unless you're at a thrift shop, people go to the thrift shop, they want $19.99 for this or $19.98. You're gonna pay $19.98 plus the taxes on it. That's the fucking funny thing. But at a garage sale, flea market, and toy shows, it's not like that. You gotta will and deal with people, because at the end of the day, that's basically a big trade show, all of it. So. Yeah, to that. So again, let me see what else I got from Eric. So what did I get from Eric? So I got two nice size bins, like file card or file boxes, with Hot Wheels. And I actually collect Hot Wheels now just to keep and then sell them off later on for years later. That's something I'm actually doing. So I'm going to figure that out. So I gotta go. I would go downstairs right now, but now I'm getting a little tired because I've been up since like I woke up at like 1:12 or 1:37, and I've been up ever since. And I was gonna go downstairs, but I'm like, I'll do it tomorrow or today or later on today because I'm not doing nothing today. Columbus is gonna be closed because of the weather. It's gonna rain all day, so I'm not going down there. And again, my boy Eddie, this is his church day. Oh, excuse me. So, yeah. So what did I get from him? So I got two nice file box, whatever, full of Hot Wheels. The dollar ones, the ones now that like what $1.25, $1.50 to $2 now, depending on what store you get them from. Because Walmart, they used to always be like 97 cents. And at Target, they used to be between 95 to $1. Even Stop and Shop. Yes, Stop and Shop, the food supermarket. Yes, they sell Hot Wheels too. They used to be $1 also, but I think now everybody's charging minimum $1.25, $1.50. I think now Stop and Shop charges $149.99 for them now because of inflation. And I think Walmart, they're at $1.10 or something like that, and in Target they're like $1.25 or so now. So, it is what it is. Every once in a while, you might get away with finding them somewhere for 99 cents or at least $1. And again, like I said, there was another one that just had like some of the Johnny Lightning cars. I think he said it was like 27 of those. Again, that was the McFarlane Multiverse. I don't remember how many of them there are, but they're not really great. Then there's some Mattel ones as well. And then you have some Marvel Legends. Then there's some other mediocre toys. There's Dorbs and some other crap that's and again, I'm like, but it was everything. We worked the deal out, so I took everything. Help him out, help me out. So we both helped each other out. You know what I mean? He went back with he went back with an empty SUV, and I went back with a full a full car load of stuff. And so just keep in touch with that video. And again, what's it? I think it's called Mr.homeArcade. He's a funny dude. Like, his voice is crazy. He does these things with the Mattel He-Mans. Or you guys gotta look him up on YouTube. Mr.homeArcade, fucking funny dude, man. Like, his voices, and he has me crying all the time. His voice on how he does this He-Man shit is just like he takes his it's like a ghetto, almost alcoholic approach to it. I can't explain it, but this dude is fire, man. So you guys gotta look out for Mr.homeArcade, man. If you don't know him, funny fucking dude. And again, Erick, thanks a lot, brother. Thanks for choosing me to network and be able to use me as a vessel to get rid of stuff you don't need, so I can kind of make a couple of bucks on it. So I'm helping. It's cool to be able to help somebody to get stuff they need without them breaking bank and being taken advantage of just because people need it. Because in reality, one, he didn't have to give me this stuff. He didn't have to give me all of it. I mean, yeah, it's not worth a lot, but still, no, he didn't have to. But at the same time, it's extremely hard for somebody to get rid of G.I. Joe shit that's easy to move. Stillable, but at the same time, to go to a toy show or deal with somebody that will have that kind of stuff, to do a trade on that kind of stuff. But at the same time, one, it was just sitting there. Two, I'm not greedy. Three, I don't like taking advantage. And four, the chances of me taking a lot of that shit to the toy show and selling all of it versus somebody stealing most of it is even more higher. So you always got to take that in consideration. And then 5, it was a mutual hookup. We both was happy with what we both did, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? I could try to move that stuff and make some money because that's what I like to do. And again, he reached out to me when he didn't have to, you know. And I appreciate that, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, to Erick again, thanks a lot. And to Mr. Home Arcade, I appreciate you, brother, and you're a funny ass dude. And to everybody else that they will watch my videos, peace, love, and hair grease. Thanks for just watching me sit here and rant and just talk about nothing. I'm bored and now I'm getting sleepy, so you guys just help me. And it's exactly it just turned exactly 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.